Today is September 29, 2025. When we tell the story of the Holocaust, the names that rise most often are European. Anne Frank in Amsterdam, Oskar Schindler in Kraków, the French Resistance. These are vital stories, but if the telling stops there, a deeper truth is lost. Resistance to evil was not confined to Europe or to the West. Across the world, people who were themselves colonized, themselves displaced, and themselves occupied recognized the shared humanity of Jewish people under Nazi persecution, and they acted. One of those often forgotten figures was Kaddour Benghabrit, rector of the Great Mosque in Paris. During the Nazi occupation, when deportations and arrests terrorized Jewish families, he and his staff quickly and quietly issued certificates of Muslim identity. With these papers, more than 500 Jewish people were able to pass as Muslims, evade capture, and live another day. Some even hid within the mosque itself. The Quran commands the protection of life, and Benghabrit lived that command with remarkable courage. Now, thousands of miles away in the U.S. Commonwealth of the Philippines, where my family is from, another act of defiance took shape. President Manuel Quezon worked with American High Commissioner Paul McNutt and Jewish relief groups to welcome around 1,200 Jewish refugees to Manila. Quezon even dreamed of building a Jewish community on the island of Mindoro, a place of new beginnings. His words still echo today. The people of the Philippines will have in this land a place where they can live in freedom. Now, for a nation itself living under colonial rule, American rule at that, this was not only politics. It was true, deep-seated empathy, born of knowing what it means to live without true freedom. Now, in Asia, Chiune Sugihara, a Japanese diplomat in Lithuania, became known as the Japanese Schindler. Against his government's orders, against Japan's orders, he wrote thousands of visas by hand, his arm cramping from the effort. Now, each visa meant escape across Siberia, through Japan, and often onward to Shanghai. And Shanghai itself, war-torn, crowded under Japanese occupation, became an open city where nearly 20,000 Jews found refuge because it required no entry visas. There, Chinese residents and Jewish refugees lived side by side, proof that even in poverty and hardship, compassion builds community. Even Turkey, neutral during most of the war, quietly extended protection. Its diplomats shielded Sephardic Jews in France and Greece, sometimes stretching the legal definitions to cover whole families. Turkey also allowed refugees passage to Palestine, defying pressure from Nazi Germany to do that. What ties these stories together is not geography. It is courage. Muslims, Christians, and Buddhists, leaders of nations and administrators in mosques, diplomats with pens, islanders with open doors, families who shared their food and shelter. They remind us that the Holocaust was not only a Jewish tragedy, not only a European one. It was a crime against humanity. And humanity, East and West, colonized and colonizer, believer and unbeliever alike, rose up to resist. For Christians, these acts echo the gospel. Jesus said in Matthew 25 that when the hungry are fed, when the stranger is welcomed, when the vulnerable are protected, it is done unto him. These stories are testimonies of that truth, lived not only by Christians, but by people of every faith, and even those with no faith but compassion. In our own time, there is still a temptation to draw lines of division, even within our country right now. Christian and Muslim, East and West, refugee and citizen. History offers another witness. When the image of God is recognized in one another, when life is defended against hatred, the legacy of Benghabrit in Paris, Quezon in Manila, Sugihara in Kaunas, and the unnamed families in Shanghai and Istanbul is carried forward. Their courage is now our call today.